if you're at that place where you're completely happy and doing what you love, and that's where you want to be, that's something to be admired at.
She's been a good mom, and she's been performing my entire life anyway. And as far back as like any story I've ever heard goes.
Do you think, when you kind of look back at what she did, do you think it was kind of ahead of its time?
It was ahead of its time. I think a lot of it has to do with like women's roles in the time when she grew up, really. So, like she grew up.
Talk a little bit about that.
She grew up in the 40s. She's pre-baby boom. So she kind of grew up in the 50s. But back then, like, women weren't really supposed to do anything. So she didn't feel like she fitted into women's roles. So I think she just had to, like, trailblaze her own. And then later on, that became the established norm. But back when she started, it was very unusual. Now she's just somewhat unusual.
Yeah.
Quality.
Do you think she's a success?
A success. I think she is. I think she is because she's lived her life the way she wants to, and she's never compromised. So I don't think it actually matters that she's world famous or not, even though that was her goal that she set out to be. I've thought about that, and I think, you know, she knew what life she wanted. She went into it. She knew the risks. I think she's a success because she's lived her life the way that she wants to live. And I mean, it's meant certain sacrifices, but I think that she was willing to take those, and they're all her choices. Nothing was forced on her. Everything's been her choice, and she's lived her life on her terms. So I think that makes you a success.
I turn and slowly walk away.
I have a different idea of like women's roles than my mother does.
What's your idea?
Oh, I don't know. My mom says I'm rebelling against her. You know, she didn't go through school, and I went through school. And I'm going to get I have a BA in English. I'm going to get a BA in philosophy and religion.
She's going to be a school teacher. She don't drink, smoke, or do drugs, and she likes me. So I did good.
Is there anyone like you anymore?
No, there never was. Anymore. Was there ever? Well, I found out after my name was George for 100 years, I found out there was a George Sand, which was a girl that wrote books because nobody would buy a book written by a girl, so she used George Sand. And George Eliot was a girl too. I mean, these things I found out much after I'd already went by George, so I guess there was people like me. George Sand, George Eliot were probably just like me. There's these bits of sparkling glory in people's life. I've had a whole bunch of those. I've had a whole bunch of high spots. A lot of low spots too, but I've had more than my share of high spots. I've had more than my share of loves and fun. I've had fun. I love being on stage. I love being on stage. I am a star. You know, I just never got money for it. Everyone knows me. Ask if everyone in the world has seen me one by one. I've done it everywhere, one by one. They've all seen me, and their grandkids have seen me, and their kids have seen me, and I fit like 3 generations now. So, you know, what's a star?
Well, darlings, it has been wonderful talking to you, and I think that it is time for us to go, maybe, no? Is it time for us to go? Do we not have something to do? I don't remember. When I first came to London, it was sort of like the ugly duckling that realizes they're a swan. It was like everyone understood me. I've never felt more understood than in London.
We stop for people like this. Cool.
I always thought that being a woman, and I still feel that way, is about being yourself and having fun. Being liberated is being able to do what you want to do. And if you're dying to be a performer, do it. And I wanted to have fun, and I wanted to wear costumes, and I wanted to act up, and I wanted to sing, and I wanted to entertain. I had 3 record deals. I've proven that I was talented because, you know, I've been signed, and I've been signed, and I've been signed. And what always happened was bad luck. There were a lot of women that used to say, oh, what you're doing is very damaging to women's lib or feminism. Actually, they were saying feminism at the time. And I never understood that. And then, of course, Madonna came along and did everything that I was doing, but without the sense of humor. I mean, at least when I did it, I was making a joke of it and saying, aren't I being silly and isn't it fun?
Are you a movie star, madam?
Yes, I am.
Fantastic! Now me, look!
And this is my Groovy London product, which is in the heart of Chelsea, pretty good. And I want to show it to you. The lifestyle that I always wanted from when I was on the ranch in Arizona, I used to fantasize about New York, London, Paris. I wanted, you know, European glamour. And I've ended up with that. I have this incredible flat. I live in the heart of London. I have a house in the south of France. I have a house in Mexico. I've got everything that I would have achieved through the music business. I have all the advantages without the disadvantages. Without, you know, in fact, this little hiccup of publicity is, you know, the only intrusion I've had in my life. Thank you very much.
Is a star born or is a star made?
Oh, the star is tattooed.